Work that 9 to 5, then come back working. Work. Work that 9 to 5, then come back working. Days in. I be putting days in. Me, my tribe be working like we trapping out days in.
All right, my name is Rob and this is Marisa and we are from the M Word. We have a few questions that we're gonna ask all of you couples here, and I'm gonna let Marisa go ahead and start everything off.
Okay, well, as I said, my name is Marisa Ray, so I would like for everyone to go across and just introduce themselves and who you are married to.
Well, I'm Marcus Payton. I'm married to this lovely lady, Valerie. I am Daryl Lee, John Daryl Lee. This is my wife, Beverly Jean, love of my life.
Oh, yes.
Hi, my name is Terrence Lee. I'm married to my beautiful wife, Octavia.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so it's nice to meet everyone. So, how did you all meet? And I'm asking that to all three couples. How did you all meet?
We met, I went to Lamar in Beaumont, and we have a mutual friend who went to Lamar as well. She was in Houston, I was in Beaumont. She visited her friend, our mutual friend, and it was like love at first sight.
Beverly and I grew up in the same hometown and went to the same church, and somehow we managed to start sitting beside each other in church. And we tried to be quiet. Beverly could talk, and I tended to listen. It started and we went from there.
Okay.
All right, and me and Octavia met actually back in around 2009. It was a daytime event. She was hosting events here in Dallas at the time. And, so we met, but it took a few months for us to actually start dating. A few things were going on. I was getting too much time. She had some things going on as well. So as time passed, we concluded that around 2011. We had our first date on September 1st, 2011. A little more than a year after that, we were engaged. And got married in September 2012. So moved pretty quick.
So how long have you guys been married? And we'll work this way.
5 years, 3 months, and 1 day.
Okay.
It would be 42 years, 1 month, and what's that? 18 days.
I'm just going to say 3.5 years.
Yeah, we don't have it down to the day.
Now, this question is for Marcus and Valerie. Social media plays a big part in relationships and marriages nowadays. How do you guys feel about the whole social media aspect? And, what advice would you give to the millennials as far as, keeping your relationships and your marriage business off of social media?
I wouldn't necessarily say take it off of social media. I think social media can be used for good and bad. I think it was created to connect people. And when it comes to marriage, in a sense, you kind of want to be, you want to be, I guess, as real as possible, at least as transparent as possible. Not putting everything out there, that I can see there's something that are on God I should know about. But if you're transparent, then normally you can relate to people, I guess.
Gotcha.
Like, it's just going to help people.
Yeah, it's going to
help somebody. If they're not, if they have questions about marriage or not for sure, you can, your marriage in certain ways, you can show them what marriage is all about.
And it's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
It's just that connotation attached to it. And I think social media would at least put a positive spin on it, especially seeing posts on all the time.
So my question kind of just to everybody is, what are some of the ways to overcome some of the challenges as far as being married?
There's definitely a lot of challenges. I think that one of the things that we learned pretty early on is a lot of people go into marriage thinking that everything's going to always be good, right? There's this, the storybook thing that you see in the movies, or arguments and fights or anything like that. And I think it's good to go in with certain expectations, right? So one of the things that, I think me and my wife try to do is know each other's expectations, and you really have to be selfless. I think there's a lot of selfishness, when you're single and kind of just living your life. You don't really have to think about another person or about kids and those kind of things. And so that's definitely a big challenge, is you have to always put the needs and thoughts of your partner first, and you can't just be about yourself, So that's definitely something I think I've learned, and something that's important.
Okay.
I would add, you have to keep it interesting, fun. Do things, date each other. Keep it exciting.
Okay.
Also, I think it's important to recognize that you go from being I and me to being us and we.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Marcus and Valerie, you have anything to add to that?
Accurate.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, well, a question that I have is, what is maybe some advice that you may give to, the young couples looking at getting married, as far as how to deal with issues, and basically just, how do you stay in love? How do you keep a happy marriage? How do you keep things, happy in the household?
Ooh, see, we're talking about
Yeah.
I'm sorry. There's a phrase, happy wife, happy life, that a lot of people stand by. And I grew up saying that, grew up knowing that, and then my relationship with God changed and all that stuff. So I grew up a little bit. And to be a husband is to keep your wife whole, not necessarily happy. And so when it comes to trying to keep her blameless, trying to keep her, I guess, right with God. The benefits of that would be her happiness, will be her happiness. And once we get that, I guess, in line with how we live now, and it's a lot more than that, but it takes a village to raise the whole village. It's a lot.
So this question is going to be for Daryl and Miss Bev. Miss Bev, question for you guys. How do you guys keep the fire burning after 42 wonderful years?
We do lots of things. We do staycations here in Dallas. We'll go to a hotel and pretend we're in Paris or something. And then we may go to Paris for real, and I like to dance. I love to play games, so that means Daryl likes to dance and play games too. And just keep it alive. I said keep love alive, keep life alive.
Okay.
I think it's very important. There's so much wisdom that we have learned over the years from Scripture, and one of them is to not only seek your own, but to seek what is best for the other person. And so, as Beverly just said, she likes to dance. I'm not a dancer, but I've learned to dance. The right clothes to dance. My wife was not necessarily into football. Sports. So she's learned to watch the games. So it's a matter of becoming selfless and not being selfish and being focused on the other person.
Okay.
Now, my question is for all three of the husbands. When did you know that your wife was the one? Now, what made you say, you know what, okay, this is going to be my wife. Yeah, I want to spend the rest of my life with her. What was that moment like, and when did you know? What made you realize that?
So I can speak to that. So in the summer of, I actually started spring of 2012. My wife's mother, she had started to get sick, and so she went to Kansas City. She's in Kansas City, Missouri, and I was in Dallas, here at the time. And she called me from the hospital, right? And at that time, we had been dating for probably about 5 to 6 months. And, you know, we had some conversations about, I hadn't given her the title of girlfriend yet, so we were kind of dating. So he wasn't thrilled about that. But, you know, she called me from the hospital, and I'll never forget, it was a Friday, I got off work. And, you know, she just basically was like, I'm okay, you know, don't worry about it, you know, I appreciate you calling and check on me, all that. We got off the phone, and something in my spirit just didn't feel right. I just couldn't get over whatever it was I was feeling, and something told me to get in the car and drive from Dallas to Kansas City to be with her. And so around 9 o'clock that night, I got in the car, and I drove the 7.5, 8 hours to Kansas City. I got there that morning, and, you know, as God would have it, I got there, and within about an hour, Vermont passed. So, you know, I was able to be there with her. It was very, very hard on her, obviously, and her family. But the fact that whatever spoke to me, God, and told me to be there, that let me know that if I would leave Dallas in the middle of the night, drive 8 hours for a woman, that was who I was supposed to be. And ever since then, you know, we've been together. So that was definitely that moment.
All right. For Beverly and I, as I said, we grew up in church, and back in the day, the churches would sell fish dinners, fried fish dinners, so paid money, and I was delivering dinners, and came back from my first run, and the sisters in the church asked Miss Beverly if she would like ride with me to do the dinners. Now, I was too immature at that point to realize that was a setup. But the long and short that y'all know you knew what was going on, right? But we had been talking for a while, and Michael Jackson and Jackson 5 and I'll Be There on the radio. And I had already developed a strong friendship. So it really started out with us being friends. She was telling me about her boyfriends at Valerie. And so that started us seriously dating. And from that friendship developed a love that has withstood the test of time and challenges and all of that. And we just learned so much because both of us are Christians, so we already had that foundation. So when the challenges came, we had to lean on the Lord. And because we did that, we have grown so much spiritually. Now we are developing an understanding of when Scripture says that a man should leave his mother and father and be joined as like a food to his wife. We now understand that. We now can see the benefit of that. So that's been a blessing for us.
For us, pretty interesting. Like I said, it was a little third sight. So the first time I saw her, she came to visit a friend. I was walking around in the yard. I saw her walking down the sidewalk, and I'm like, hold on, let me go say hey. And then I think she came to visit maybe once more. She came to one of our fraternity parties, and we literally just hit it off. I don't know what it was, but I literally told her friend, our mutual friend, like, I'm gonna marry her. I said that, and you know, long story short, it happened. The kicker though, like the next morning, we all went to assistant college or whatever. Yeah, we went. It was a group of us. It was my guys and you know all her friends and everything like that. We went to the dining hall, we ate breakfast and everything. Right? She sat next to me. We're sitting around, you know, we're talking, and I'm playing guy, and I had a hash brown ticket to sit next to me, and I'm messing with her as she's a full-time married. I'm like an airplane, you know, whatever. Yeah, and so I literally act like I'm going towards about everything, and she ate my hash brown, and like literally the room stopped. Like everyone's there and like, yeah.
Oh.
So I'm like, okay. And literally, yeah, it was from then on. I was like, okay. Yeah.
So it started again.
Okay, well, we definitely love all of the wonderful, wonderful stories that you guys are able to share with us. So as we wrap up this segment, I would like to know, and I can start with Miss Octavia first, as far as what advice do you have for us millennials that are looking to be married at some point? And everybody can answer.
I would say that to definitely get guidance from God, because sometimes guys that you may think, hey, this is the one for me, may not be the best one for you. And I will say that, make sure that whoever you marry is that someone that is your friend, because things start out great, romantic and everything, but it's really the tough times that you need that friend that will accept you, your family, your flaws and all. So I just kind of look at marriage like you're marrying your friend, but you happen to share the same thing. And up the other stuff, but that's the advice I would probably give. Marriage is fun. I think it's also a chance that you're growing as a person. You have that permanent person that's going to continue to see, like, hey, remember you was 30 and you like this, and now you're 50 and you're like this, and I think it's great to have that partnership.
Okay.
What was the question again?
The question was just, I think, there she got it.
But looking forward to getting married at some time.
Yeah.
I would say be content with where you are right now. I think that as a single, you can tend to get like antsy, like, well, when are you gonna give me a husband or wife? You tend to, if he ever does. And so it's one of those like being content with where God has you right now, and and try to make sure that you're fulfilling everything that He has for you to do right now as a single. Because you tend to have more time, at least the Bible says you have more time as single. It's awesome. Paul's like, it's great to be single. So do as much as you can as a single right now. And you can be hopeful that somebody comes along, but also be content with where God has you at the moment and make the best of it.
Okay.
I'd say pray a lot, ask lots of questions, spend lots of time with anyone you're considering, and you think is considering you as a mate. It's nothing to play with. It can be very playful and fun. I keep bringing up fun because that makes a big difference, and prayer makes a huge difference. But you have got to make sure that no one's pulling one up on you. And then you wake up one morning after you're married and say, what did I do? Because that will feel that way sometimes. But if you pray and God gives you that person, then it won't be a what did I do? It's, wow, look at us and what we can do through Christ who strengthens us. Amen.
Okay. And actually, yeah. Okay. So actually, gentlemen, have another question for the gentlemen in the room. How long did you wait before getting the nook and cranny prior to marriage?
Oh, okay.
That's code for
TV code. What's that?
Before we got married.
What was the time frame?
For me, she's the purest of pure. She's the angel that came to me. Like she's me as far as me and her, we didn't do anything. But I was you know, anyone who look at this thing like that, I would always suggest them to wait because I was on the other end of that, where it will, mess things up. You're gonna the nook and cranny, as you said, will fill a void that only God can fill, where you have issues, where communication is lacking. You know, you use that as a filler, if you will. But she was different. I was young in my faith, but I knew better. So we're better off because of greatly.
So 5 years.
5 years. That's
A
right.
really long time.
5.
Before we got married.
5 years. 5
And
years.
then another 5 we've been married.
5 years. Yeah.
Right.
It was like, I'm just gonna be honest.
Okay, well, you know, it's interesting that the truth is that we didn't. And if we had it to do again, I would, because one of the things I realized, looking back on the root of our relationship and our marriage, that blinded us, particularly as a man, that blinded. And so things that I should have been aware of, things that I should have been focused on, I wasn't. And so while we didn't wait, I realize now that if I had to do it again, I would do it God's way.
So how long did you wait?
Yes.
No,
Confusion.
it's okay. Like 30. Yes. Y'all remember.
I would guess a couple of years would be my guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys?
All right, so we can keep real up here, right?
Yes, you can.
All right. So me and my wife, we did not wait. I would say that before we got married, probably about like 9 to 10 months before is when we stopped. What I will say is this: we made a mutual decision to stop, and one of the things, and it was already spoken on, it clouds a lot. I'll say that one of the things that happened that 9-10 months before we got married, it was probably the best decision we made to stop doing that. And the reason is, again, it clouds your judgment, and really it kind of overshadows. You're not even getting to know the person that you're married, right? When that's taken off the table, you're forced to communicate, you're forced to talk, you're forced to work through issues. Because when that's on the table, I mean, you can do that, and that can just wipe whatever issues on the table off. Right? So it's one of those things where, you know, it helped me. We were already friends, but it really made her my best friend when we did that. Because at that point, we were really communicating. That was good, right?
Hey, how y'all doing? This is Marisa Ray from the M-Word TV show. Just want to check in and say I do apologize for missing the last segment because life situations happened and I had a small emergency that I had to take care of. But on the flip side, I had a great time working with all the couples about marriage and how it lasts and things like that, as far as just really just building that foundation. So what I figured out was you have to be friends first to lay the foundation second and then focus on your future. That's how they're able to stay married 10, 15, 20 years. And I hope to be one of those candidates in the future. So yes, I do feel that marriage is worth it. And to all the married people out there, keep it going strong.
Say that we learned a lot would be an understatement. I came into this whole situation just thinking that, you know, I would never get married. But after talking to different couples, I would say that it kind of did sway, you know, my opinion on marriage as a whole. But my question to both of you is, first of all, Gio, do you think marriage is worth it?
Yes, I think marriage is worth it.
Why do you think marriage is worth it?
Simply because it's healthy. It's not something that's gonna, kill you. It's actually gonna help you physically.
Maybe.
If there's love and happiness,
Mhm.
okay. If there's love and happiness, it's definitely worth it. That's all I say.
Do you think marriage is worth it?
I do think that marriage is worth it as long as we were discussing, you had mentioned earlier, as long as it is the right person. You can't go up in there with just blow Joe, somebody that you met 2 months ago.
Mhm.
Like the type of people that say, oh, we fell in love and we're getting married in 2 months. Stop it. It's not going to work like that. I really think you don't even know a person in a year. So, I definitely think that it takes time to get to that point.
I have something to say about that. Now, we do have some situations where you have some couples and some people that have been together 3-4 years, then they decide to get married. They'll be divorced the next month or the next year. You have some people, they will meet, be together 3 months, get married, and they live happily ever after. They're still together. Do you think that it should be a time limit on your marriage, or do you think, with feelings and everything, if you feel that way, like, I think I want to spend the rest of my life with this person, they should just go ahead and do it? Or do you feel it should be a time limit? How do y'all feel about that?
I think that it comes with the feeling of it all.
Mhm.
You can't put a time on the rest of your life.
I agree. I think more importantly is the age and where you are personally and where that person is personally, because we're all at different levels of success, responsibility, maturity. It's all applicable.
Now, we live in Atlanta, Georgia. Y'all, it's like a melting pot here. With so many temptation surrounding, this city here, do you think it's hard to find love in Atlanta?
Yes, I do. You're dealing with temptation, you're dealing with competition, you're dealing with an unequal ratio of suitable partners. Let's say it like that, Whether it doesn't matter if you're heterosexual or homosexual, that ratio is skewed. So as far as dating in a large city like this with so much going on, I definitely think that it's hard to date here.
What you thinking?
In my personal opinion, I think it is very difficult because, one, the success rate is just very, very bad, and I couldn't say it's very easy. It's something that's almost you don't want to do. That's how bad it is.
So would you travel to find your love?
I would go out of town to find something worth it.
It's pretty bad that you got to travel to find love. But that's just
it's
the
true.
City. Yeah, it's the city we live in here. Now, with that being said, I know I asked you all earlier, do you think marriage is worth it? Do you see yourself getting married?
Not anymore.
Why is that? Did you have a situation, a heartbreak?
No. I think it's just where I am in my career, my career, and my own preferences have come up since I've matured. So it gets harder and harder.
Are you too picky?
Not picky, just meticulous.
So you don't want the whole white picket fence?
No, those are definitely black fences now.
Like you don't want
that? No, they're gonna be there anyways. Someone's gonna be your old. Someone's gonna be as old as you, no matter where you are.
Okay.
So how about you?
Well, my view on marriage, I do believe that marriage is important. However, I do not plan on the traditional going to the courthouse, getting married that way. I plan on my life partner and I coming to the decision that we want to spend the rest of our lives together, and I guess common law. But yeah, just because of everything that goes into that, financial things.
So you don't want like a big wedding, the whole big church wedding, you know,
don't want a church wedding. But I do want a wedding. It doesn't necessarily have to be big because I'm a pretty private person.
Gotcha.
So as far as the grandiose wedding, I don't need that. Just my family and friends.
In my opinion, it's not worth it anyway.
All right. Okay, so
It may not last, huh?
It won't last.
It won't.
48% divorce rates and rising.
so he
But
brings
that's
statistics
still-
in.
He did, but that is still the lower end.
And the older you get, and the more educated you are, you're less likely to find an actual partner.
That's true. That's true. Okay, so this is a good question. A big question. With social media being so relevant nowadays, you got Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, Soul Swipe, all this access out there.
I didn't know about a couple of those.
Yeah, all this. Yeah, it's out there. It's out there.
I believe you.
So I heard.
Your friend told you.
Yeah, a friend told me, little birdie. With all of this out there, how hard do you think it is for couples to trust each other nowadays with so much, really at the click on your cell phones now?
That's why communication is so important. And, as well as freedom, you can't try to control your partner because that's going to push them away even more, in my opinion. And so there has to be a balance. Social media, we're grown. So if you allow social media to get in between your relationship, you are very childish. You need to grow up.
Good answer. In my opinion, the social media has its drawbacks and its positive parts, but it's going to be negative and a positive for me because privacy is very important.
That's true.
But faithfulness is also as important. So I guess on a computer, I wouldn't mind someone checking behind me.
Yeah.
But on my phone, no. So there you go.
Okay, and we have to bring this to a wrap soon, but I just have one last question, one quick answer. What advice would you have for the millennials out here, that are in relationships that may be on a teetering line about marriage now? One quick reply.
Get some therapy.
So we see he's anti-marriage all the way. My advice would be to take your time.
Work that 9 to 5, then come back working. Work for the money. Work that 9 to 5, then come back working. Days in, I be putting days in. Be my tribe, be working like you trapping nowadays. Work that 9 to 5, then come back working.